Hi, I'm Curtis Parody, and welcome to Now, the show about some of the most interesting news happening in the world right now. Happy Tuesday, everyone, and get ready! It's another crazy day of technology-type news. Well, except, today's news was kind of the big news that happened yesterday. I'm talking, of course, about E3, the huge gaming convention that kicked off yesterday with some big names showing off some of their awesome new games. But the really big announcements that came from the event were both from Microsoft and from Sony, as they both talked about their new consoles, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. So I thought, let's run through both devices as a kind of like match-up, like features on features, kind of like a compare and contrast. Starting with the look, we already knew what the Xbox One was going to look like, so now, hey, Sony finally showed us what their design was all about, and surprise, surprise, the PlayStation 4 kind of shares a lot of similarities with the Xbox One. It's kind of like a big box type of thing, but in the end, it does have like a cut around the middle, so that's a little bit different. For myself, I think it kind of makes sense, the design that both of these companies are going for here, because if you really think about it, does it matter what the box looks like? Because in the end, it's a box. As long as it plays awesome games, that's all that matters. As for price here, well, they do differ. The Xbox One comes in at $500, and on a slightly cheaper side, the PlayStation 4 comes in at $400, which is kind of nice. Keeping with the cost here and talking about the online component here, the Xbox, of course, requires Xbox Live. You have to pay for it every single month. The plus side to the PlayStation has always been, of course, the fact that it's free. You can go on and do whatever. Well, unfortunately, that's no longer, as PlayStation has just announced their PlayStation Plus, which costs $50 a year for a membership, and then you can go and play online. So unfortunately, it's no longer free on either end. When it comes to actually playing games, well, you're probably going to be interested in the new controllers, of course. The Xbox has a nice, simple controller, similar to the old one, but of course it does gain like the updated triggers, which have like rumble support built into them, which is pretty freaking cool. As for the PlayStation 4 controller, well, it looks pretty similar to the old one as well, except for the large trackpad located in the center. And if you're interested, you can also use your PS Vita as a controller for the new PlayStation 4, which is pretty freaking cool. It allows you to actually see cool content right on the screen of the controller. This is kind of similar to Xbox's Smart Glass, though of course, a tablet isn't a controller. There's two different things there. When we think about games for these consoles, well, there are many coming, but as for exclusives, it's kind of hard to tell right now. New games like Final Fantasy and Kingdom of Hearts 3 are coming to the PlayStation 4, and a new Halo game, along with Forza, and a cool mystery game called D4 will be making its way to the Xbox One later this year. But really, nothing groundbreaking that makes you want to go to one side or the other. The one part, though, that may make you sway one way or another is the multimedia support aspect of this. Of course, Microsoft and Xbox have been pushing hard for this new space. They don't just want to be your game machine anymore. They want to do everything. They have deals with ESPN and HBO to allow Xbox users to watch the latest content right on their Xbox. And if you have a supporting cable box, well, your Xbox can actually control that using Kinect. So if you're just like, I want to watch HD TV because Home Makeover's on there, then you just tell your TV, go to HDTV, and then it switches, it's awesome. And then you can watch, Home Makeover, which is great. Oh, you could watch something else. That's just one show, not like I watched that show or anything. Anyway, whatever, my TV choices aside. As for the PS4, well, they do have some online content, of course, but far less than the Xbox. But hey, they still have a Blu-ray player, so, that's still there if you want to put your discs in, if you got a disc. Now let's touch on used games, because there's been a lot of fuss about this lately. The Xbox One requires that if you purchase a used game from GameStop or wherever else, you also have to purchase a new license for that game from the publisher, meaning that will cost actually more to buy used games in the long run. Though if you ever actually want to sell your game, the cool thing is all you need is the authentication code. You don't need the disc or anything like that, just the code, and you can sell that back. It's just as good as the disc, because then you can just download the game again from the cloud. Just pull it down. On Sony's side, it's kind of similar, but it's not mandatory. This is really, really cool. It means that the game developer has the choice here. If they want you to buy a new license every time you buy a used game, then that's up to them. If they don't want you to do that, then that's also up to them. So it's really cool. So it could be cheaper to buy certain games used for the PlayStation 4. This is kind of a gray zone here. But of course, the good thing is the PlayStation 4 doesn't require an always-on internet connection to continue to authenticate those games, which is awesome, unlike the Xbox One, which requires you to connect at least once every 24 hours. Finishing it off here with specs, the Xbox and the PlayStation both have a 500 gig hard drive, 8 gigs of RAM, and they both have Blu-ray drives to ensure that you can watch your content that you want that's on Blu-ray. which is cool because it's HD and stuff. As for availability, well, the Xbox One will be available in November, and as for the PlayStation 4, well, they haven't announced a specific time frame, but it will also be here for the holiday season. It's going to be interesting to see how these two devices compete against one another for the next couple of years. Alright, so gaming news was the primary focus of today's show, and now I want to know, which console are you thinking about getting? Or just given the fact that, like, I'm gonna give you a console, which one do you want? Do you want the PlayStation 4? Do you want the Xbox One? Let me know in the comment section down below, or you can let me know on my Facebook page, through Twitter, or on Google+. Links to all that and the other articles I talked about in today's episode in the description down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit up that like button and subscribe for more great free now content every single day of the week. So until tomorrow, I'm Curtis Parody, and that's what's happening now. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. You can of course check out more videos that I create by clicking on them below. Check out Now for the latest news happening in the world right now, Paradise Gaming for some fun gameplay videos, or of course my personal vlog channel to see what I'm doing outside of my studio. Also, if you're interested in supporting the show and getting some new clothes for yourself, just like this shirt, you can pick up this one if you want. Check out the store at thecurtisparodystore.ca. Bye everyone.